Coming to you from a wrong turn off Route 66. Somewhere in the Sonoran Desert, it's James Out West, featuring Ryan Rooks.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, James Out West, February 10th, 2021, a few days after the Super Bowl.
That wasn't
a Super Bowl. It was an average game.
Tampa Bay's defense showed up.
Which is that what we said? Did we say that? Who'd you take?
I took Kansas City.
Oh, okay. Like the rest of America took Kansas City.
I thought it was going to happen. And I have to eat crow. Like, man, what he ran for 497 yards scrambling behind the line.
They were after him all day. We talked about that. That would be the difference, and that's what happened. Who did I take?
Yeah, you took Tampa Bay.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure.
You've been right 2 weeks in a row.
I wanted to make sure.
I just
give it up
to you.
Wanted to make sure.
Congratulations.
And I got Tampa Bay. I thought it was gonna be a close game. What I tell you, they'd have to go down with a chance to win, and they would. 31-28. They scored 31.
They controlled the clock, and that's what I said that they needed to do in order to beat Kansas City, and they did it. Fournette looked good.
Lenny.
There was some great throws. Gronk, putting up 2 touchdowns?
2 touchdowns. Did you see him after the game with Tom Brady, where Tom walked up to him and they were talking? He was like, "You did it, bud. This is all you." And he's like, 2 tutties, dog, 2 tutties. Like, dude, they just had so much fun. It was so cool.
Even today, watching him, they did the boat parade.
Which was fantastic.
It was awesome. And Tom Brady threw the Lombardi trophy from one boat to another.
So let me ask you a question. Why is anybody upset about that? He's the Super Bowl winning He's the Super Bowl winning quarterback. If you're going to trust anybody to throw the Lombardi trophy to somebody else, Tom Brady to Gronk, I'm okay with that. I think they're going to hook up.
Tom Brady has now more Super Bowls than any other team.
Yeah, but we're going to hold on. Did he win those 6 in New England by himself? Was it just the Tampa Bay? Was it the Tom Brady Patriots? Was it the Tom? 7. No, you can't. I'm not. But when people want to do that, yeah, guess what? Bill Belichick also has more Super Bowls than any other franchise. So let's pump the brakes here for a narrative.
I think he has 8. Right?
Yes, yeah, because he was 2 with the Giants. So everybody pump the brakes on your narrative. I know it's slow, and ESPN and FS1 and the Herd and all. They also have to talk all that shit.
Oh, yeah.
But we're diving a little deep, although we get into the very, very deep, as in today, Tom Brady enjoying himself on his brand new $2 million boat that was escorted by the Tampa Bay police out on the water. Ooh. Boss move, by the way.
Oh, yes.
Leaving, had too much fun, having too much drink, doing zigzags like he's trying to escape an alligator.
You deserve it.
Absolutely. You know what he did? And then he tweeted afterwards, "Hey, it's just a little bit of avocado ice cream."
Yeah, man.
It was awesome. Hey, good for him.
Dude, that was impressive.
Absolutely.
43?
Yeah. Says he's going to play to 45.
He'll play another year. If they win it next year, I bet you he's done. I don't. They're third in the ranking in the way too early rankings right now. Kansas City's number 1.
Yeah, we can't look at any of that. The Browns are number 7, so don't listen to any of that.
Oh, yeah. That's.
Don't give us hype.
Oh, right.
Keep us down to 15, 16.
Enjoy it while you can.
I'm afraid.
Enjoy it.
That's what a scarred Browns fan is. We're afraid of success.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the Super Bowl. There were 3 huge passes on 2 of Mahomes' craziest passes I've ever seen that were through the hands and dropped.
Oh, the flying Mahomes?
Yes.
The vertical off the ground?
Sideways, doing a 3 or 580 almost.
Twice?
Yeah. Like, it was ridiculous. And, man, they needed to catch it. It was actually all 3 of them. One was Kelsey. Mm-hmm. One was Hill. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know who the third one was. I can't remember. But it went right and bounced off the friggin' face mask.
I paid attention
That would change the game.
Yeah, it would have. I mean, he was under duress the entire game. When you saw Tampa Bay go 3 and out and have to punt, it was like, uh-oh. First series of the game. And then Kansas City, kind of same thing. And then it ended up being 3-0. And then it was like, Tampa Bay was like, yeah, we found our groove.
They just attacked him. And they shut down the secondary. They played deep.
Now I got a question.
Okay.
Did they show the blueprint on how to beat the Kansas City Chiefs? Because I don't think so. I'm just saying, or can we really dumb it down to they were missing both their starting tackles, and that defensive line was after blood, and they got after him, put him under duress. He couldn't do the things he wanted to do, and ultimately, like you said, there were some drop passes. There were some questionable penalty calls, like pass interference in the end zone.
Yeah, but I mean,
that were kind of ticky-tacky. Yeah, exactly. So I'm saying I don't know that we've seen a blueprint on how to beat Kansas City. We also have a Pat Mahomes who, obviously, he's getting toe surgery. It's been a bother. I'm sure he got a shot, couldn't feel it, but it still had to have an effect.
It was a difference. But I think the biggest thing was that not only were they missing 2 of their starting linemen, but they had 3 different guys that are normally on the right side and then on the left side.
Yeah,
and
it was a mess.
Guards and then a tackle.
It was a mess.
It was not the setup that you need to have to protect a $500 million man.
And this also kind of puts a dent in that Kansas City dynasty potential. They've been three AFC Championship games in a row. They've gone to 2 Super Bowls and won 1. This last game, Pat's worst game as a pro, basically. I'm sure there's a few that aren't, but this is one of the worst, if not the worst.
Yeah.
They looked discombobulated. I said discombobulated.
High school.
Yeah, this was a bad game.
He's never lost.
But those things are gonna happen.
Since high school.
It just sucks that it happened on the biggest stage for them. They come back hungry next year. They basically have everybody under contract.
It's injuries, man. It's what happened. Like
game of attrition.
But I think they still have everybody under contract till next year. The year after, it's going to be a lot different. I think they spend some money. They're going to get, because even what's his name opted out to be the nurse.
Yeah, how do they have money though? How are they going to spend money? How do they have money?
Well, after next year is when
but still,
dude. So I think next year they're still going to be in it. Absolutely. Okay. After that, it's going to be interesting to see what they spend.
Okay. Now Tampa Bay is going to run it back as far as the team for the most part. Well, can't say everybody because they
have a good vibe going.
Yeah, but listen. Yeah, until Shaq Barrett gets offered $45 million guaranteed signing bonus, and then he leaves.
Yeah.
Now, JPP might stay, because remember, JPP, I think, made pretty good money in New York. So I don't think he's leaving. But I think Shaq Barrett could go. Chris Godwin's probably going to be gone because he's going to get big money on the market when there's only him and Allen Robinson as far as receivers out on the open market.
He's been around. He might stick it out.
He might, or he might. You turn it down.
Do a 1-year deal.
Maybe. You're right. He might. We'll see how many one-year deals they can get. Playoff Lenny, I think he's going to have to resign, or does he resign?
There's a lot of people that will do a 1-year deal just to run it back with Tom.
That'll be interesting.
But who knows? I mean, some people just want to get paid. They don't necessarily. Now they already got the ring, so we'll see.
Yeah.
So it was a very interesting game. Not what we thought it was going to be, but
Tom got 7,
and then we had Reed's son out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with the accident.
So, and again, that's another thing that compiles on that. If he's that close to the team like that, does that affect the players? Does that affect the coach? Does that affect everything? I'm sure it does. It's some way or another it does.
You had to think Andy Reid's mind is on that at some point.
I mean, he wasn't the one out there. That wasn't the reason they weren't blacking. They weren't blocking. He was about to black out. I might have been blacked out. I was probably 11 Bud Lights deep at that point.
Oh, man.
We went to a Super Bowl party. It was just family.
Yeah.
Bud Light on draft. Lots of food, lots of friends. It was a good time.
Oh.
But, man, that stuff goes down like water.
Man.
I forgot.
We had all the family over. I think I ate more food this weekend than I have like in a month.
Oh man.
My God. Yeah, it was
good
awesome,
time.
though. It was good times.
And that officially ended the NFL season.
Yeah.
Now, we've had some stuff happen after that, so it's not like the season's over because the NFL season's never over, folks. But games are over.
So, real quick before we get into too much more, we also lost Marty Schottenheimer.
Yeah, so Marty Ball, rest in peace.
Oh, man. He never got over that, like, winning, but he always won, like it seemed like.
Yes. It
was awesome. I grew up watching him. I mean, he was Cleveland.
He was this guy right here.
Yeah.
3 AFC Championship games in 4 years, lost all 3 to Denver. Had a chance to be in the Super Bowl. Coached great teams, was a great motivator of men, a great leader of men.
Oh, amazing.
There's a gleam, gentlemen. There's a gleam. It's very famous, and it's a shame that some people shit on people's names. I'm talking about the Washington Post.
He had an English major, and he could the way he motivated people and could talk and just be that player's coach. It was impressive.
So you want to talk about a kick on the way out, which is perfect for Washington. The Washington Post ran a story. about Marty Schottenheimer dying, and it says, Coach Schottenheimer, whose teams wilted in the playoffs, dead at 77.
Great.
I mean, that's cold-blooded. So my FU of the week is to, my FU of the week is to the Washington Post on that. I mean, goodness gracious.
Heard on that. Yeah,
what he did, look what he did. And look what he did. That is disgraceful. Like, but look what he did for San Diego. Look what he did for us. Look what he did for Kansas City.
He couldn't win in the playoffs. It's just incredible. It is what it is, and it's friggin' football, and it's hard.
Yep.
He was a winner.
Yep.
And he was a great coach. He was an even better person.
I know he was a huge mentor to a lot of coaches. Bill Cowher was on his staff in Cleveland.
Yeah. And it's hard with whole Alzheimer's. That's a sad, like it is really sad. It's a disgusting disease. But at the same point, shout out
Coach Marty.
Yes,
Marty Schottenheimer.
For sure. So,
you get into the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Go ahead.
All right, so we got Lynch. So
Deserves. 100% deserves it.
Amazing Tampa Bay.
And Denver Bronco. So, yeah, should be in.
Of course, we got Peyton Manning.
That should be in, obviously, duh.
Calvin Johnson.
So, the argument that Chris Carter made was the way that they had to guard him was something like, he goes, and he played with Randy Moss, but the way that you had to guard Calvin Johnson was something like you've never seen in the NFL.
Like
and he still did it.
Yeah. He changed the game, but he did it. What he played? 8 years, 9 years?
Okay, so, man, I'm going to piss a lot of people off. I know people, Julio Jones is a Hall of Famer, sure, I guess. Okay. He's a great receiver, but there's a lot of great receivers. Like, if you're telling me that he's at the tippy top, is he a top 10 receiver all time? Not that you have to be in the Hall of Fame. I'm just throwing out ideas.
No, he's not. He's not.
All right, let me get to this. Okay, so, shit, you might be in for a second.
Okay, all right.
The reason I'm going to disagree with Calvin Johnson getting in has nothing to do with Calvin Johnson.
Okay.
It has the fact that he is in when they could have added somebody else, but they didn't. Not because they hit a number.
Okay.
Clay Matthews Jr., not the third, not Clay Matthews, that's only been out for a year. Dad, number 57, played 19 years in the NFL, 16 with the Cleveland Browns, 3 with Atlanta. He's got his statistics are better than 11 or 12 already in the Hall of Fame. He's better than Derek Brooks. He's better than half these guys that are in. Brian Urlacher, suck it. I like Urlacher, by the way. I don't mean it that way, but in compared to Clay Matthews Jr., and this was his last chance at getting in, and now he's going to go to the senior panel. So now the senior panel better get it right.
They will.
Because it's a disgrace that he is not in the Hall of Fame, and yet we have, again, nothing against Calvin Johnson.
But he's not a first ballot.
A Hall of Famer's a Hall of Famer, however you want to slice it, but he should not be in before Clay Matthews Jr. I'm sorry. Okay, now we're done.
Anybody else that you would have put in besides Clay Matthews Jr.?
No, because I think those other guys still have time. Like, I don't remember what the final 22 was.
That's the one
that's the one that really irks me, because not just because this was his last year, but because he should have already been in. We shouldn't have come to this.
Right.
And it's not like they can't. There's a hard cap. They could put 7 or 8 people in if they want.
That's what bothers me.
And who's making these decisions? Right. These writers. That if you piss them off one time, they're never going to vote for you.
It's worse than baseball, but
no, because baseball put nobody in the Hall of Fame. They thought nobody was worthy this year.
Because
and baseball wonders why their league and their sport is dying on the vine. Is because of things like that.
Okay, so real quick.
No bat flips, no DH.
I want to come back to this real quick. But we have to give credit to Drew Pearson. He also was voted in.
He deserved to be in a long time ago, too.
Correct. So, respect, Hall of Fame, congratulations. Well deserved. Well, we'll see. Based off James out west here, we'll see. So, what's your take on Barry Bonds not being voted?
It's ridiculous.
He deserves. I mean,
First off,
he's a Giants fan. Like,
the Major League Baseball, bro. Tell me I'm wrong. They were in on it. The commissioner of baseball knew what was going on, and they turned a blind eye because it brought a resurgence back into baseball.
And Sosa,
yes,
was the big. Everybody was watching baseball, and everybody knew what was going on.
There's so many of those guys that aren't in. You could build another wing and make it the performance enhancement wing, and put Barry and put all those guys in. And guess what? It'll be the most visited wing in the Baseball Hall of Fame, because more than likely the Baseball Hall of Fame and these museums are dead.
Dude, it's like that scene in Varsity Blues when you walk in and he's getting the shot. everybody knows it, but
yeah,
keep your mouth shut.
Yeah,
dude. I don't know. I think that sucks, but we'll see with that whole.
Now,
baseball's baseball.
Go ahead.
Oh no,
go ahead.
I was going to talk about the draft. I'm curious. There's been a lot of talk about different quarterbacks.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of rise.
Mm-hmm. Which I don't know how people rise and fall when nothing's been done. So that's interesting. It's chatter, people talking, right. Smoke screens. Who's putting out the information? Who would want that information out there?
So we know Trevor Lawrence is going 1 to the Jags. Like, that's done deal, right? I think for sure. So
you can't pass on him and get it wrong. So no.
He's going number 1. So then we have the Jets at 2. Are they going to take a quarterback? Because if they don't deal Donald before.
So, or do you go with it like this? New coach, new system. Maybe they can get something out of Darnold that they don't need to go get another quarterback because he's only 24.
I'd get rid
and
of
keep
him
him,
and start.
or keep him and see what you got because you need to see. And if it's a terrible year, you're going to be right back in the top 5 next year too.
So you're saying still draft a quarterback no matter what?
No, I'm not saying that necessarily. I'm saying at number 2, you may want to listen to offers to go to 3, 4, 5 if somebody wants to move up and get some clout and get another offensive lineman. Get something that's going to help your team, help young quarterback that has the intangibles. I'm sorry, he's got the height, weight, speed, smarts, accuracy, skills. He had a terrible head coach in Adam Gase that has limped around the NFL for 10 years on Peyton Manning's word.
Yeah, and he had the mono or whatever he had where he was out. And
well, yeah, he's a young kid.
Like
he should still be in college.
So he's been against he's had a lot of negatives, but I can see that side. I mean, you look at some of these kids coming out. Well, you have Zach Wilson.
You taking him at number 2?
Have you seen him?
Maybe Justin Fields.
I did not know of him until about a week ago, to be honest. I did not know about him, and now I've seen so much video on it. Like
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones.
But again, you're not taking him at 2. There's 5
of North Dakota State.
Trace something or something. Trace
Bryce. I mean,
he's got 2. Does he have 2 first names? Let's get back to this. Hold on.
Trey Bryce.
Yeah. I thought it was Trace Bryce.
Trey Bryce.
Okay, good. I was like, man, he's got 2 first names.
But he only played 1 game this year.
Yeah, a little showcase game before the season kicked off, and they're not doing a combine, so it's gonna be pro days only, and then video stuff.
And there's a lot of receivers. There might be 8 of the top 10 picks, wide receivers and quarterbacks.
Oh, you think so?
No, but
okay.
People are ranking certain receivers that high. I mean, Devontae Smith.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Like, it's going to be interesting.
But I don't want to.
It's exciting to see what this
is. Devontae Smith the number 1 is a number 1 receiver in the NFL. Like,
not right off the bat, no.
Is Tyreek Hill a number 1 receiver in the NFL? Do you consider him a number 1? I mean, his production says so, but
because he draws so much attention,
right? Yeah,
that's where I would say yes, because not only can he, if he's 1-on-1,
right.
Automatically it's open.
And again, I'm not saying that
he's drawing so much attention that
something's available.
If any defenses are looking at it and they're like, okay, that's our number 1, we got to block.
Okay.
So yeah.
And I'm not asking that being like, I don't think he is. I'm just honestly asking, like, because I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think he is.
I know Tyreek is. I'm saying
he got shut down.
I'm saying Smith. I don't know.
There was so many misses.
The cheetah is yes. I wasn't asking it because I thought he wasn't, but I'm just saying I don't know. I guess I can say that you have to look at Alabama with a tinted lens because they're Alabama and their guys are always open because they're just so much better than the rest of their time. I know the SEC, yeah, they're very good, but they still play a lot of cupcakes. A lot of cupcakes.
Play a lot of the hardest teams.
Yeah,
and
they
the
play
best
a few.
teams.
Yeah, sure.
And typically go into the playoffs, and they've shown up.
Yeah, no, they do. You can't with that much NFL talent, you better. Same thing with Ohio State. You have that much NFL talent, you better.
Well, yeah, they do win championships.
Yeah, exactly.
They're pretty good at it.
No, I get it.
So let's switch back to the NFL. I have one more question for you. You heard about Russell Wilson?
Oh, did I hear about Mr. Unlimited?
I was curious. As soon as I heard this, I immediately thought of how I'm going to ask you this. So I think it's more of a fluff because he got interviewed and asked, how he feels, and he said he's been hit almost 400 times.
Yeah.
They need to do something pretty much.
Yeah, I hear you.
Do you think that's a statement, and he wants out?
No.
Or is that a statement and he's trying to put pressure?
No, he's putting pressure on them to get him help on the offensive line.
Okay.
I would also say that if you notice guys like him and Pat Mahomes, perfect example in the playoffs, guys that extend plays with their legs, and even our boy Josh Allen does it to an extent. Sometimes when you do that, you cause a sack. You've moved yourself out of protection.
Correct.
So much so that you're causing your own sack. So, yeah, that 1 or 2 or 3 plays, not that many, maybe 6 plays a year, you get out of those and you make immaculate plays. But the other 7 or 8 of those, you get sacked.
Maybe.
So part of it is his fault. I'm not saying that. I don't think he's looking to get out, although I wouldn't put it. He's too into himself to know the optics of that he has to stay with the 12th man. He's got to stay up there and chew gum with Pete. He's got to do
Hawks,
that, okay?
Baby. Go Hawks.
Okay?
Yeah,
100%. He's bought into that area. They're not leaving.
But he's forcing the hand to get them an offensive line.
Yes.
Because if you look at what he can do when they have even a decent offensive line, he can actually create things.
Hey, they have receivers. He's a big cat too. He also takes hits. So you can complain. You can chirp. You can chirp a little bit. That's fine, Mr. Unlimited. He can chirp. That's all it is. It's just chirping.
I think it was more of just a statement, but people are blowing it up.
Well, yeah, because apparently now if you're disgruntled, you have the right to demand a trade and leave.
Oh my gosh. You need to stop with this. This is crazy. You know that, dude.
He's got his money. We're not going to go over this again. If you guys have any question about what I'm talking about, go back and watch the last 5 episodes at the end, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. At any rate, continue.
No, so Richard Sherman's not going to be a Niner next year.
No, my money's on.
You think he's going to go back to Seahawks?
No, I don't.
You think he's going to go where, the Jets?
No, I don't.
There's been a lot of talk with the Jets.
There's 2 places.
Okay.
He's either going, rest in peace, Bowers, the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, Gruden's been recruiting him. I actually heard that. Okay.
And then the dark horse in that.
Who do you think?
I mean, I'm looking at the helmet, dog. I'm looking at the helmet, dog.
Man.
I'm looking at the helmet, dog.
That actually might not be. That would be a pretty good fit.
Yes. CJ McCollum hit him up and was like, dude, you need to go play with my boys. And he responded back, was like, listen, I have a lot of options, but I hear you, and let you know I hear you. He wants to be in a team that can compete for a championship, that's young, and that he can be a veteran leader
for
in.
2 years.
Bang biscuit. Cleveland, give him 2 years, $12 million. It's got a chance to go to 15 with incentives, and those incentives are getting to the Super Bowl.
You think he's going to take?
Yes, I do. I don't know what the market is. I'm just throwing a number.
I don't think he's going to end up with you, but I think it's a good fit.
Yeah. But I think, like I said, I think it's the Raiders.
All right.
Because it's not that far from where he's at.
So
he's always been, I mean, that's where he's from. Like that, not Vegas, but I'm saying like the area of Northern California, like, Stanford and all that stuff. So it's like, you're not going to want to venture too far. So that's why I don't think us necessarily, because it's so far. Thank you. So to me, it's like that. No, I mean, hey, I don't know if the Chargers have money, but I'd love to see his dreads in them Chargers baby blues.
Go to the Rams.
They can't afford him.
No, but just
they can't afford him.
It would just be hilarious.
Him and Ramsey together.
Oh my God. Well, he's not what he used to be.
No. So are you? Let me ask you. Are you enticing him to play safety?
No.
Is he interested in that at all?
I'm enticing him to get the hell off the 49ers. Are you kidding me? Richard Sherman.
No, I'm not saying you. No, I'm not saying you and your team. I'm saying when he leaves, are you keeping him at corner now that he's slowed down, or are you trying to make him transition to safety?
Do you really think he's going to change in his last 2 years? Maybe.
Hybrid. He just play about 35% of your snaps back there.
I could see him being open to it, but I don't know.
It's got to be the right situation, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's a stretch. But man, I don't.
While we're in that area of the country, while we're talking about football, we're going to go back to Money Lynch, Marshawn. He opened a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
He's working there every day.
Oh, yeah.
And he said he was getting everything cleaned up. And this was last week. He was getting everything cleaned up. And he walked outside. And he's like, man, it stinks. He goes, man, it smelled like ass. And he's like, I turn around, bro. He goes, next to the steps is human feces, dog. You know how he talks?
Oh, my God.
He's like, so we have some dope heads that kind of run around here. So I'm like, hey, did you do this? Hey, did you do this? One of them finally copped up to it. Mickey copped up to it. Was like, yeah, dog, that was me. Hey, man, I'm going to get you. You can't be doing that. I'm going to get you a hose. We'll clean this up. Now, here's what we're going to do. You want a job.
I picture
him saying that shit
from Friday.
Yeah. And he was like, so now he hired the old dude. So old boy comes through and cleans up and he helps him out. Gives him some food, gives him some money. You know, a man of the community. So I wanted to shout out Marshawn Lynch.
Was this in Oakland?
Yeah.
Dude, he's always been good to Oakland. I love it. Him and his mom are so hilarious.
That was a great interview he did this past week with Pat McAfee. I thought that was an interesting story. Very funny.
Yeah.
As only Marshawn Lynch can deliver.
Dude, he's money. I love Marshawn Lynch.
Absolutely.
I will always respect that man. He's a first ballot.
Yeah.
He will be.
Yeah.
So, all right. What do you think is going to be the craziest quarterback changes? So we already had Stafford and Goff. What do you think is going to happen? Because there's a lot of stuff. They're talking a lot about Wentz now on the trading block.
Yeah, but who's pushing that information again?
Yeah.
Who wants that information out? Philly's out there saying they haven't gotten a good enough offer.
So we have Deshaun Watson who wants out. Dak Prescott who might be up depending on what the heck Dallas wants to make a decision on.
They'll franchise tag him again. They will. They will franchise tag him again. That's business.
He's gonna leave after that if they do that.
Not if they offer $400 million over. You don't know.
Then that's true.
So, money cures all ills.
So here's one thing I wanted to bring up with the whole Deshaun Watson. Let's get back to this just a little bit. How is it fair that they can cut somebody?
I agree with you. You know what?
It's the business.
You know what?
So
hey, you know what? NFL union.
Why do the players get that?
Because they don't vote it into the union. They don't vote it in. They've had opportunities to say, we want guaranteed contracts. I know it's hard, and I'm not a part of the union.
Force his hand, but that's what he's doing.
My point, I understand what you're saying, but if they were so worried about, they want to keep bitching about that, then take a stand, go on strike when you had the opportunity, and get it in writing. They can't do that. If they cut you, they owe you 75% guaranteed. If it's after a year, it's 85%. If it's after, yes.
Then in this next fucking arbitration,
which isn't for another decade. Because they just did it.
Yeah, I know. But
you know what they took? You know what they took? They dangled out a bunch of money and that they're going to test less on weed. And they were like, sign me up.
Yeah, and they got older players insurance and help, which was good. But
a lot of it is good, but I'm telling you, if that's what they're worried about. So yes, I agree with you. But at the end of the day, we can go back to it. It's been less than a year. This team was still in shambles, and he agreed to sign that max deal.
Now, so I don't disagree.
Listen, they're turning people down. Like I said, I'd get my money back and make them sit. I would make a stand. Your team already hates you. The city already hates you. You're going to be terrible anyways. Make a stand, keep your money, and make him make a decision. Come back and be professional and play. Or he can be childish, and I want to force my way out, which he has a no trade clause. So he's only going to accept a trade that he wants to go to. Where if you're them, you're going to trade him where you don't want him to go to.
If you're that strong of a coach and a GM, and they get it right, I agree with you. I don't think that he's willing to do that anymore. I think
he's not even answering their calls. He's not even being a man.
Oh, don't say that shit,
bro. Come on, you know this stuff. You got to be able to say, yeah, we can make a call. Yeah, we can talk.
But maybe not yet. Maybe he's just like, you know what? Or he's letting his agent first talk and then set that up.
No, you're right. But then Houston's the one that's obviously leaking the information that he's not responding to phone calls and texts.
Pissing him off even more.
Probably. Could be.
Yeah, we'll see.
Like I said, if I'm them, I'm signing Mitchell Trubisky to a 1-year, $12 million deal, and I'm calling Deshaun's bluff.
Oh, man.
And if Deshaun shows up, you got 2 great quarterbacks for one season. If something gets hurt, or you trade Mitch middle of the season.
Yeah.
It's a 1-year deal.
It's going to be interesting. I don't know.
I don't like that he forced his hand like that, and I agree. I usually side with players on things. I'm just saying, if he really felt this way, all of the reasons on why he feels this way were already there. He could have said, I'm not signing the extension.
I disagree because it was a different year when he signed it. So he had expectations.
What are you talking about? He signed it after they traded D-Hop.
Right. Correct.
So why would you do that? They already showed you their hand. They traded your best player.
Then they had a full season of shiz. And
did he think it was going to go well after trading D-Hop?
Well, no, because he showed up, but the rest of the team didn't.
But then shame on him for not knowing scouting because his team stunk.
Well, correct, but maybe they had said that they're going to do things to replace that.
And he knows that they traded all the draft picks away and have no money.
Well,
you know why they don't have any money?
I wouldn't want to.
Because he signed the extension.
Well, Oh, God, stop it. You're like the old woman in the corner. I have to tell you.
I mean, do I get soup?
You've always been the old man in the corner.
Well, yeah. Do I get soup?
Yeah. Okay, I'll bring you soup next time.
Thank you.
Yes. It's going to be interesting. I think this offseason is going to be crazy. We talked about with the salary cap. With also so many different players are going to be changing. I think most of the teams at the top right now are going to still be there next year.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think much is going to change in that, but I think we're going to see a lot of lower teams, or even maybe you guys kind of try and get up to that upper echelon.
Well, we were one game away. We were a helmet to helmet hit away, as one does. An inch.
Got to fight for that inch, man.
Yep. I do have that on the docket, by the way. I can play the Al Pacino.
Don't fumble it in the end zone.
Dude, yeah, you just don't do that. Bail out the defense because you marched on.
I want to see
it's
this.
Terrible.
Do you have Al Pacino? Do you have that quote? This is hilarious. I love this. I think that there's going to be...
I don't know what to say, really.
You think I didn't have it?
3 minutes till the biggest battle of our professional lives.
It gives me goosebumps.
All comes down to today. Either we heal as a team, or we're going to crumble. Inch by inch.
That's awesome.
Play by play, till we're finished. We're in hell right now, gentlemen. Believe me. And we can stay here, get the shit kicked out of us.
This is Andy Reid at halftime of the Super Bowl.
We can fight our way back.
Now this is Bruce Arians.
Into the light.
They were already winning.
We can climb out of hell.
Have you ever had one
inch
of these?
at a time.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
And then I have the other one down the line.
I
100%.
had like one or two coaches that were like that. Most of them were
They try
kind of
too hard,
softy, or like they would be over intense, but it wasn't motivating. But yeah.
For those of you that just heard that, that is the little one, Luna, our 2-year-old.
Not little.
Yeah, she's not little. 100-pound puppy. Luna, our Bordeaux Mastiff. Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
She's just barking away. So, well, when the dogs, yeah. So literally who let the dogs out, I'm not sure. They've been in here for 30 minutes and all of a sudden decide now that they see that we're doing a show, they want to start barking.
They were completely disagreeing with what you're having to say.
They're like he is an old man.
Yes.
So, all right.
So it's been a crazy season, but we got the website up.
Yes, sir. JamesOutWest.com.
Yes. So we're also on any podcast. So iTunes,
Spotify, iTunes, Anchor.
Yep. Pretty much anything that you look it
the
up on. The
website has the QR code for Spotify.
Yes.
It's got video uploads from the show. It's got a tab for what's going on in sports. It's blogs about what we got going on, just thoughts about different things.
Yes.
Like Mark Cuban and the No More Anthem. And then the NBA saying, I don't think so. You're going to play the national anthem.
Yeah.
And so they reversed that. Talking about Tom Brady and the Super Bowl. Also breaking down entertainment because the show is going to transition a little bit with NFL off season. We're still going to cover sports, but we're going to cover things that are going on in the world in general.
A little bit different.
Yeah.
But we're still going to be sports orientated.
That's a word.
Is that close enough?
Good enough.
But yeah, it's going to be a little bit different. So check it out. But we have all the content up there. We also have Instagram.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be exciting going into this next part. I love football, but I love getting into some different details, different things that we're gonna dive into, which is going to be interesting. So check it out. Stay tuned.
That'll be next week.
Hey, what a season we
made
got through it.
I can't believe it.
All right,
Unbelievable.
man.
All right, everybody.
One love.